Rashidale, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to Dharma Sharing. Today, we're going to continue from where we stopped last session. We're trying to understand more about this very special chapter, the wisdom awareness, which is the main sort kind of antidote to dispel our ignorance, generally speaking. And therefore, this chapter is considered as one of the most important chapter among the six paramitas, the 61 perfections of wisdom awareness. And in order to understand this, by the great kindness of Gampopa, Gampopa has explained this in his teaching from the Ornament liberation, and we are trying to understand this very detailed way. And before we start today's talk, we shall do the rapid prayers and then followed by the generations of bodhicitta. So please join your hands together. Sangye che dan so ge chon nam la jang jo ba to da ne gyap son che da ge jin so ge be so nam ge do la ten che sangye tu ber sho sangye che dan so ge chon nam la jang jo ba to da ne gyap son che da ge jin so ge be so nam ge do la ten che sangye tu ber sho Sangye che don so ge cho nam la jang jo ba do da ne gyap son che da ge jin so ge be so nam ge do la de che sangye to ba ra sho sem jen tam che de wa dan de we gyo dan den ba gyo che dong an da dong an ge gyo dan do wa gyo che dong an me be de wa dan ba dan me da wa gyo che nge re ja da ni dan de we dan nyam che bo la ne ba gyo che sem jen tam che de wa dan de we gyo dan den ba gyo Dunga da dunga ge gyo da da wa gyo je dunga me be da wa da ba da me da wa gyo je Ngiren cha da ngi dan de da nyo je bo la ne ba gyo je sem je dam je da wa da de re gyo da de ba gyo je dunga da dunga ge gyo da da wa gyo je dunga me be da wa da ba da me da wa gyo je ngiren cha da ngi dan de da nyom je bo la ne ba gyo je ba den za we la ma ren bo je da ge je ro pe me de sho la ka den chen pe ko ne je song de Kusondo gengo do zando so. With this going homage and paying homage and going refuge to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and then followed by generations of bodhicitta, we are ready to study Dharma, practice Dharma, and do any kind of your Dharma practices which relate to the practice of six paramitas, and also especially in this chapter, the perfections of wisdom awareness. This wisdom awareness is very, very important, and we should or must definitely realize this wisdom awareness in order to free ourselves from the suffering of samsara and to accomplish the ultimate happiness. So because of that reason, this chapter is very, very important. And in order to understand this chapter and be able to put them into practice and slowly to realize this wisdom awareness, we must kind of accumulate merits and purify our shortcomings that were formatted through our body, speech, and mind, or generated from our body, speech, and mind under the power of ignorance, because the not knowing this ultimate nature, and because of we are overpowered by this ignorant, we create different types of karma, and because of that reason, we, as a result of that, we are experiencing different kind of suffering in samsara. So our very goal is actually to liberate from this suffering of samsara, and then attain the complete and perfect Buddhahood. And our intention is to benefit sentient beings, not only for ourselves, but also to share this wisdom awareness for the benefit of sentient beings by seeing and by being responsible and by seeing the suffering of others in the samsara and really wanting to see them free from the suffering of samsara. So because of that reason, you are going to benefit sentient beings by showing them the path that leads to complete and perfect Buddhahood. So that is the main reason, when you give rise to bodhicitta at the very beginning, we had two objectives. One is to free ourselves from the suffering of samsara and cause of suffering of samsara, that is, freeing ourselves from the negative afflictions and emotions. We are all as for now, we are all controlled by our negative afflictions and emotions. We, even though we call ourselves that we have control over our mind, but actually we are always overtaken, overpowered by different types of negative afflictions and emotions. So we really want to free from this kind of negative afflictions and emotions. Actually, we are bound by these different types of afflictions, and we need to free ourselves from these afflictions. And second objective was to benefit sentient beings, to bring sentient beings into complete and perfect Buddhahood. And for that reason, we as a benefactor, as a Dharma practitioner, especially the Mahayana Buddhist practitioner, we have to have some kind of realization in order to benefit sentient beings, in order to enlighten sentient beings, in order to show them through the path. So because of that reason, we as a practitioner or benefactor, we first need to have some kind of realization, and then after only we'll be able to benefit sentient beings. So that's very practical. It's very reasonable. So therefore, we should not forget these two objectives: trying to free ourselves from the suffering of samsara, and then to benefit sentient beings or bring sentient beings into complete Buddhahood. And that was what our intention was at the very beginning. And while you practice Dharma, either we are listening the teachings of Dharma or teachings from the teachers or from your colleagues, or sharing Dharma, whether you're practicing generosity or maintaining morality, being patient, practicing patience, being diligent into your practice, day-to-day practice of the Dharma, benefiting sentient beings, or whether you're practicing Idam deities or Mahamudra meditations, all the time, you should not forget what was our goal, what was our intention at the very beginning. Then the realizations on the way when you practice the Dharma, sometimes, yes, because of your determination, because of diligence in the practice of the Dharma, you'll be able to see some results, some signs, some wisdom, awareness, and then at that time you will not be arrogance, or you will not have give rise to pride, because you always are being mindful of what your intention was, that is to benefit sentient beings. And this is very important, I think. If you always being mindful, if you remain bodhicitta in your mind, in your heart, all the time when you practice Dharma, then how much results, how much awareness or realizations you gain, at the same time your compassion towards sentient beings will grow at the same time. And this is how the practice should be done. Your wisdom awareness and your compassion towards sentient beings should go together, hand in hand. And because of that, there is possibility of attaining complete and perfect Buddhahood. Otherwise, there will be shortcoming. You'll be bound in one kind of nirvana, and that is just being free from the negative addictions and emotions, but then not being active, not operating, not being active for the well-being of others, and that is not so useful. Obviously, it is good for oneself, but then it's just one individual. So our intention, our motivation was to benefit so many sentient beings, uncountable sentient beings, all sentient beings of three loks, three spheres, desire realm, form realm, and formless realm. So therefore, it is advisable. You should always remind yourself the importance of bodhicitta. If you forget bodhicitta, then it's just knowledge. It's not useful for others being, and that is actually not so beneficial. It's just benefiting one individual, but not others. And then if it's just benefiting one sentient being, then it is very hard to benefit, to bring all sentient beings into complete and perfect Buddhahood. And that's against our intention, against our kind of commitment at the very beginning. So that is very important. So therefore, our Rinpoche, the Lord of Rinpoche, Khenchen Thangpo Rinpoche, whenever he gives teaching, every time at the beginning, he reminds us how it is important to generate bodhicitta, how it is important to re-engage in bodhicitta or re-establish our bodhicitta, our loving kindness and compassion for the sentient beings, and not just generating bodhicitta, not knowing why and or just as a culture or tradition, but with full awareness of the importance of this bodhicitta, and with having full awareness of the beneficial effects by generating this bodhicitta, having all the enough kind of proof, enough kind of logic that can convince us that we must generate bodhicitta. So therefore, it is not just the blind faith, or it is just not just kind of traditional. It is not just the kind of pressure, under pressure you're generating bodhicitta. It's not that like that at all. It is with full awareness of the importance and beneficial effects of generation of bodhicitta. That is why it is important for us to remind this, and therefore it is very important. So I also would like to request you, all of you, whenever you practice Dharma, whether it is just doing 3 prostrations to the image of the Buddha, or just a reciting of the mani mantras, or just practice of Tonglen, giving and taking, or generations of loving kindness and compassion. All the time, you must remind yourself, you must aware that you are doing this. Your main goal is, aim or goal is to benefit sentient beings. With full awareness that all the sentient beings are now suffering because of avidya, because of overpowered by negative afflictions and emotions, and they did not have an opportunity to, really see and to really understand this negative. They are overpowered by negative afflictions and emotions. So, because of that reason, you as now having some kind of karmic connection towards Buddha's teachings with the kindness of your root gurus and teachers and colleagues, now that you are aware of all these wonderful instructions of the Buddha, then you'll be able to, benefit sentient beings. You'll be able to see that we do not really need to suffer, sentient beings suffering in samsara is not kind of permanent kind of permanent order from someone in the sky, so to speak. It is on your hand. You don't need to suffer. You have all the possibilities to get rid from this suffering or be free from these sufferings. You have all these cause and conditions, but you did not know this because you are overpowered by negative afflictions and emotions. Now that, since you're engaged in the Dharma with your good motivations and obviously with karmic connections, now you are aware of these cause and conditions, and therefore you should utilize this in the more beneficial way, that is to benefit sentient beings, to teach them, to instruct them. And these wonderful teachings of the Buddha, even though these wonderful teachings of the Buddha that Buddha has shared with us some 2,600 years ago, but then it is still very relevant in this 21st century because it is to do with internal strength, internal emotions. These instructions are just like medicines. As long as there's the pain, mental pain, disappointments, anger, jealousy, and so forth, as long as they are there, medicine like Buddha's instructions will remain always very relevant and very beneficial. So therefore, it is fortunate, we should feel fortunate that we have these connections. We have these wonderful instructions with us. But if you try to find, medicine externally in order to free yourself from the suffering of samsara, then obviously you have seen this, so many people, so many scientists, so many different types of individuals with so full of knowledge try to find the solution externally. Obviously, they have some extent, they have succeeded, but then even though how much external comfort one may have, but then if you are not free from your own disappointments, anger, jealousy, hatred, and so forth, envy, and so forth, then you're never free from suffering of samsara. And that is why external comfort is not the permanent solution here. They are just comforting for limited time, but they are not ultimate solution. So you want to find find the complete and ultimate solution to free yourself from negative afflictions and emotions, then the Buddha's instructions are the very relevant instructions that one can practice and can see the results. Okay, so among many different types of instructions of the Buddha, today we are talking about one of the main important instructions, that is the wisdom awareness or personal paramita. These teachings actually enlighten us or try to dispel our ignorance, our confusion state of mind. We are ignorant to the ultimate truth of impermanence nature of some phenomena, suffering nature of phenomena, and most importantly, the emptiness nature of phenomena. We, from the very beginning up to until now, have been, seeing or taking whatever appearances that appear in front of us, that can be object of your eyes or your ear, your nose, your tongue, your body. We took them as real. We took them as something which really have kind of ultimate nature, which have kind of fixed and solid identity. Therefore, we have spent so much time and energy in order to gain those beautiful appearances, beautiful in sound, smell, taste, and textures. But whenever we try to do that, we always we are always exhausted. Things will not remain same as it used to be. Everything that appear in front of us will not last forever, and as long as they last, they also have lots of different transformations, different changes in your life, so that we know, right? We have experienced different challenges, different type of disappointments in our life. This all happened because we did not know how to deal with our emotions. We're trying to we're trying to find solution externally, and now these instructions will teach us how one can tackle our emotions, how one can, balance our emotions by knowing the true nature of phenomena. Then you are not overpowered by. You can free yourself from the negative affections and emotions which were overpowering you up until now. Therefore, wisdom awareness, this chapter is very important. Okay, so obviously, we are now trying to understand what is to be practiced. We have some understanding, theoretical understandings of wisdom awareness, especially with relate to the emptiness nature of phenomena, unfabricated nature of ultimate nature of phenomena, emptiness nature of phenomena. And then just having that theoretical understanding is not enough. There are lots of instructions which shows us, which gives us lots of good reasons why things are non-existence or why things are emptiness. There are lots of instructions and lots of logics. So instead, here, particularly here, what is to be practiced according to Gampopa Mahamudra lineage. We're not talking about just inferring emptiness of phenomena, external phenomena, but instead of inferring the emptiness nature of external phenomena by giving so many reasons, logics, and analytical meditations, but instead, Mahamudra traditional, especially here Gampopa's instruction, it will show us, it will give us new way of understanding the emptiness nature without spending so much time and energy. Just not just inferring, but then it gives us an opportunity to directly experience the emptiness nature of phenomena. It is kind of it shows how to directly see the emptiness nature of phenomena, actualizing this emptiness nature of phenomena, not just having thoughts about it, not just having kind of theoretical understanding. So therefore, these instructions, particularly here by Gampopa, which relate to Mahamudra way of looking at the nature of phenomena, is very direct. So therefore, some translator translated this, the method how it to practice or meditate this according to Mahamudra. They translated it as the direct perception, meditation, path of direct perception. That actually, when you practice meditation, especially with relate to the trying to understand the emptiness nature of phenomena, we have this analytical meditation, which is giving lots of good reasons, investigations are involved. But then this is again, you're conceptualized, right? You're still having lots of thoughts there. But then instead of that, we are now referring directly, trying to experience the true emptiness nature of phenomena or emptiness nature of our own mind. This is called direct perception, path of direct perception, directly realizing the emptiness nature of our own mind without giving any kind of reasons or any kind of logic. Those are not required according to Mahamudra. And it will take long time if you analyze and if you use not this kind of analytical meditation. Instead of that, we are trying to experience the nature of mind just as it is, without giving any kind of thoughts there. Like what it was said, that there's no need to add or subtract anything. just see as nature of it is as it is, that is good enough. So therefore, this is how we are trying to progress, trying to see the true nature of our mind through Mahamudra tradition. Okay, so what do we practice? We need to practice this understanding of emptiness. We need to actualize this understanding of emptiness. Just having understanding of emptiness is not good enough to dispel our negative afflictions and emotions. So in order to free ourselves from these distractions, negative afflictions and emotions, we need to really actualize this truth. And this is how we are trying to do. We need to practice this. And the way how we practice is through 4 stages here. First, preliminary practice. Preliminary practice are very important. As I mentioned earlier, they are a kind of good foundation for our good stable house. If we have good foundations of what you call to actually see the suffering nature of samsara, impermanence nature of samsara, then you can divert your mind towards your meditation. Otherwise, you do not see suffering nature of samsara as suffering, then you enjoy samsara. So so far up to now, we have been enjoying the samsara. But therefore, you have experiencing all these different types of sufferings, because we are overpowered. When we are actually blind, we are confused to the nature of truth. So we are kind of blind there. So therefore, we did not see suffering nature of samsara as suffering. So therefore, we kind of, went on and on, and on. We took every appearances as truth and real. We fight for them. If something goes wrong, we generate envy and anger, and we're trying to get what we really need, what things are good in front of us, in front of our eyes, things are good for in front of our ears, nose, and so forth. So we have been, taken away by all these things. So now we're trying to stop there. We're trying to see at least understand the emptiness, impermanence nature, suffering nature of samsara. Thereby, we generate kind of mental state where we really want to free ourselves from the suffering of samsara, where we really want to divert our mind towards meditation, towards finding the solution. This is how we call renunciation. We need to have kind of strong renunciation to this samsara. Otherwise, we will not be able to free ourselves from this suffering nature of samsara. So with a good base of good foundation of renouncing samsara and not trying to see the impermanence nature and suffering nature of samsara, then one really want to get rid of this unpleasant experiences. Then one really want to find solution for that. One really want to liberate from this kind of suffering of samsara. So with preliminary practice is very important for foundations and so forth. And then second is actual meditation, that's equipoise. They're considered it has 2 stages here, shamatha and vipassana. Okay, we talk about that, shamatha and vipassana. Shamatha, stabilizing your mental state, mind, or bring your mind into calm state, calm abiding state of mind. Mind is called shamatha, and vipassana. With that stability, then trying to see the clear seeing of emptiness nature of your mind. That is called vipassana. And how to see the clear nature of your mind. There's different ways. analytical meditation, and direct path of direct perception. Now here, according to Mahamudra tradition, we are using the path of direct perception without utilizing any kind of logics, without inferring any kind of reasonings here. Just trying to directly look at the nature of your own mind as it is. So this is actually quicker, faster. Therefore, enlightenment in one lifetime was possible because of this special technique of seeing part of direct experiencing the nature of your mind without inferring to any kind of logic or any kind of reasoning process whatsoever. Okay, so this makes Mahamudra practice unique. This makes Mahamudra practice a possibility to attain enlightenment in one lifetime. So therefore, we're very fortunate to be able to receive these instructions, especially Mahamudra instructions from different gurus, different rinpoches in the past. So therefore, that is why it is very important. Then we have post-meditation. Okay, so equal post, we already were able to receive these teachings in last session, in the actual meditation state, how one has to, remain in the direct, looking at the direct nature of your mind, and without any kind of conceptualizing, conceptual thoughts. So there are many codes that were mentioned by different masters, different instructions from different texts that were quoted here by Gampopa, because to make us easy to understand, with the supporting of many different codes from different realized high masters, to make our understanding easier. And also there's lots of blessings from all these shlokas from different experience and meditation instructors of the past. So now today in post-meditation, how one should bring the experience of actual meditation into post-meditation state. Generally speaking, from the relative term, yes, we say, now I'm meditating and now I'm not meditating. There's always two stages, right? So when you say I'm now meditating, equipoise, remaining with the 7 postures of Bhairachana and Mahamudra technique, trying to look at the nature of your mind. So that's the one stage, okay? And the second stage, we say, oh, now I'm walking, I'm talking to my friends, I'm going to office, I'm doing my daily activities. And that's the second stage here. And so this is, generally speaking, we have 2 stages. But in actual, there's no separation from equipoise and post meditation. If you are advanced meditator, if your meditation is advanced, if you have good realizations of meditation, then it's just same. There's no separations of actual meditation and post meditation state. But for now, from generally speaking, from relative side, we do say this: my meditation state and my post meditation state. So Gampopa very kindly instructs us how one should keep this experience in your post meditation states as well. So otherwise, when we're meditating, you're very calm, you're very kind, you're very nice, you're staying there, very calm, very perfect, no one's disturbing you, and you're very stable, you're very happy. But then, after your meditation sessions ended, and then when either you're from going to center and meditating there, or either you're doing meditation in your house, in your shrine, then right after meditation session is ended, concluded, then kind of speech you use, you know, how fast your mind, state of mind, that very stable state of mind, stabilized state of mind is distracted. How soon your physical appearances changes, how soon you yell at others, how soon you lose your patience, how soon you forget your diligence, you know, how soon you forget your that peaceful state of mind where you're meditating. And if you have big difference in between the two stages, then it is quite sad. So we should always be very mindful. Even in our post-meditation stage, we should try to remind ourselves while you're talking, be mindful what kind of word you are using, whether that word is harming others or insulting others or not, or whether you should be using these words at the first place or not. Likewise, your appearances, physical appearances, your mental stages, when you associate, encounter with different people, what comes into your mind? Positive or negative thoughts? You should be able to see all these things. When you are able to see, oh, I'm having negative thought about this individual, then right there, catch that thought right there and try to look at it. What we usually do, because of not having good meditation, then we are overpowered by that negative thought. And then because of that mental kind of commander, we speak, we express through our speeches, harsh words or bad comments, competitive speeches, and so forth. And slowly, when you get stronger and stronger, your appearances will changes. Your facial expressions, your physical hand gestures, and all this will all change. And that is the time where your meditation stage, peaceful meditation stage, has been ruined and overtaken by negative affections and emotions. And then you now turn into a very lay, beginner. You're no more any practitioner there. You're just a child, just like a child in meditation, because you lost your mindfulness. You'll not be able to catch whatever negative thoughts appear in your mind. At least, even if you have negative thought in post meditation stage about any individuals, at least if you are aware of that negative thought, you see, oh, now I'm having negative thought about that individual. If you're able to see that very moment, if you are able to catch that, then there's a chance. There's chance to redo. There's chance that you can transform that. There's chance that you will not make it worse. You'll not express that mental negative thought through your verbal speech and physical appearances. Still there's chances. So therefore, at least if you are not being able to remain peaceful state of mind in your meditation, if you are distracted by negative affections and emotions, but at least still there's a chance. At least you should at that point be able to see that, be mindful, and then don't express them through your verbal speeches and physical appearances. That's one thing. Or if you're more aware than that, if you have more capacity than that, then you just look at the nature of that thought. That's what Mahamudra instruction says. Look at that very negative thought. Look at it without subtracting or adding anything. Just look at that nature of your mind. Then see what happens. And most of the military instructors said that very thought, that very essence of that very negative thought is also Dharmakaya. Therefore, when you recite Mahamudra prayers, Kalkudini's prayers every time before our practice, Dojo Shangtoma practice. That's it. It is very clearly stated that the essence of our thought is Dharmakaya. So even at that time, if you are aware of negative thought being generated in your mind, at that very point, you are able to see, to look directly at the nature of it. You'll be able to see Dharmakaya there. There's possibilities. So this is just another example. Now here, Gampopa says, in post-meditative state, everything should be seen to be like magical illusions. So this is important because in the meditation stage, actual meditation state or equipoise, you are trying to see true nature of your mind, and that is emptiness nature, right? And then when you come into post-meditation state, still don't forget that awareness. Still, whatever appearances are there, when people are bringing food to you, or when you're doing business activities, or you're shopping, or whatever, at every time, if you're able to see all the appearances, shape, color, sound, smell, taste, and texture, if you're able to see them as the magical illusions, then you are protected. Then there's no risk because you see them as magical illusions. You see them as just appearances without having kind of permanent or solid identity. You are not seeing them as something truly existent. You see them as a object in your dream, so to speak. You see them as illusions. Then you will not react. When you see them as an illusion, then you will not have attachment towards them. Then you will not have envy or anger towards them. You will not generate jealousy towards them. Whatever people say, you just see them as a magical illusion. Maintaining that meditative state of mind, bringing that kind of remaining or maintaining that kind of experience in your post-meditation states, while talking with others people, while eating, while having meetings, while doing any kind of housework or any kind of business activities. Then that is what we should be doing. That's what Gampopa instructs us. Just don't forget, always be mindful, remain that kind of awareness, even in the post-meditation stage. Then you are protected. Then there's no risks. Then you will not create bad karma. And then if you do not create bad karma, you don't need to suffer. Choice is yours. Choice is always ours. Choice is always on our hand. Okay, so that's good. Actually, very good, because then we can be free from the suffering of samsara. We don't need to suffer. There's possibilities that one can be liberated from this suffering of samsara by knowing this true nature. So if you're able to see any appearances, any forms, any shapes, any sounds, any smell, just like a magical illusion, this is what is needed. And we should go for this. We should not satisfy with a little bit of prostration, little bit of mandala practice, little bit of pilgrimage, little bit of listening to the Dharma, but we should be, be very sincere and trying to have this kind of experiences into our practice. Then there's possibilities. Okay. At the same time, Gampopa says, in your post-meditative stage, the accumulations of merits, generosity, practicing of morality, patience, diligence, all this should be gathered to the best of one's ability. So this second point here, this is very important. He says, because sometimes what happens, people have misunderstanding of the emptiness and wisdom awareness of realizations of emptiness. When we talk about emptiness, sometimes people think that there's nothing, everything is nothing, but it's not like that. Emptiness is, teachings of emptiness is not nothingness. Emptiness, teaching of emptiness is the unity of appearances and emptiness. It's a unity of luminosity and wisdom. It's a unity of compassion and wisdom. So you should understand that in that way, then you really got the meaning of emptiness. If you just see emptiness as nothingness, then there's a risk. Then people will say, oh, I can do anything. I can say anything because nothing exists. Everything's emptiness. So this is the wrong understanding of emptiness. So that is why Gampopa wants to alert us here. He says, the accumulations of merit, generosity, and so forth should be gathered to the best of one's ability. You should not forget this. You know the emptiness nature of phenomena, yet you should not discontinue practicing bodhicitta. You should not discontinue helping others. You should not, discontinue practicing generosity and so forth. Because if you stopped helping others just by knowing the things are empty by nature, then that will not bring you anywhere. That is the mistaken understanding or misunderstood of understanding of the emptiness nature of phenomena. Okay, so therefore, that is why Gampopa alert us that accumulations of merits should continue as one's best ability. Okay, so remember that emptiness is not nothingness. Emptiness means when you understand emptiness, or when you really realize the emptiness nature of phenomena, that doesn't mean that all the phenomena, all those appearances will disappear. Everything will become darkness. It's not that way. It's just seeing the nature of phenomena as non-existence or as not having kind of solid, kind of permanent entity or permanent identity. Therefore, everything is possible. Everything can co-emerge. Everything can appear because of cosmic conditions. Because there's no one single permanent entity. So therefore, it can transform into any kind, any situation, any shape, any color. Remember the example of water. Water not having its own shape and color. That is why it can be transformed into any color and shape. So this is the very nearest simile here. Because there's no kind of such a permanent, solid, existent thing in phenomena. Therefore, everything emerges according to cosmic conditions. And everything is possible, everything is changeable, everything is transformable. And that is good reason to know that. And when you see things, emptiness nature of phenomena, at the same time, appearances will not disappear. Appearances will still remain there. And the difference is, what is the difference there? Before knowing the true nature of emptiness of phenomena, you have so much attachment to those objects, those beautiful shape, color, sound, smell, taste, and texture. But now, if you really, not just theoretical understanding of emptiness, but if you really experience the true nature of emptiness of this phenomena, then you will not grasp it. You will not have kind of attachment towards those things. You will not generate envy, jealousy, and so forth. So how nice is it? Isn't it very nice not having attachment, anger, jealousy, envy, and hatred of with others, of any phenomena? That's the complete liberation. That's complete freedom. The reason why we are suffering is because of this envy, hatred, jealousy, anger, attachment, desire, isn't it? So therefore, it is the difference is that after realizing emptiness nature phenomena, then you will not generate any kind of negative afflictions and emotions. If you do not have negative afflictions and emotions, you will not create negative karma. And if you kind of discontinue the formations of that karma, we do not need to suffer as its result, as consequences. So that is why everything is possible. Okay, so you should not discontinue generations of bodhicitta, benefiting sentient beings, practice of six paramitas, just like Buddha. Buddha, after enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, he did not stop benefiting sentient beings. He did not stop speaking, taking meals, sleeping, giving sermons, and so forth. So likewise, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the past, after realizing emptiness, they discontinue their ability to benefit sentient beings. Even after realizing the emptiness nature of phenomena, some instructor says, you will generate more loving kindness and compassion towards sentient beings. Because you see them, oh, how sad those individuals who still are under ignorance, who still do not know this nature, and they are, because they see them as a, in a confused state of mind. So they generate more compassion towards them. Like mother having loving kindness and compassion towards their children, but that mother will have more loving kindness and compassion towards one of their children who is weaker, who is not so smart, who is lacking of facilities and so forth. The mother will have more worries about that particular individual. Likewise, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, after enlightenment, they will even generate more compassion towards sentient beings because they see them as a suffering, is roaming in the samsara with confused state of mind. And Buddhas now awaken. Now, if you awaken, then you will see those will have compassion towards those who are still under that confusion state of mind, confused state of mind. So therefore, it is very important. The condensed perfections of Wisdom Sutra says, one who understands that the five aggregates are like a magical illusion, no differentiating the separation between the magical illusions and the aggregates, and those contact is peaceful. This is one whose action is supreme perfections of wisdom awareness. This means that we call ourselves, I, is made out of our different aggregates, this form, our feelings, our sensation, our different types of perceptions, our mental formations, and our consciousness. Combinations of these five aggregates we call ourselves as I, me, myself. So we up to now we took them as real. I'm real. My form is real. This is some kind of solid existent thing. And my feeling is very important. My feeling is real existent. And my perceptions are very important. My perception is the best. And then mental formations, because of that, good and bad, you have different kinds of mental formations, like, dislike, and all this will take place. And obviously, the seed of that from a mental formation will remain on the consciousness. And this is consciousness, how it travels into next generation, next lifetime. So we took this as real. But here, instruction says, try to look them, all the five aggregates, just like a magical illusions. Try to see them as the magical objects that is created by magicians, for example. When you have magical performance, magician performs different types, right? The magician creates different objects like horse, house, people dancing, and everything's happening there. And audience are just looking at them and seeing them as real, and they're crying, they're emotional, they're happy according to the display, respectively. But the magician there who has created this magic, he does not have any kind of attachment. He doesn't have any kind of envy or anger because he knows that this is not real. But audience, they think this is as they see this as a real, and because of that, they have so many reactions. So, for example, this magician is just like a Buddha who has seen the true nature of phenomena, and then who can see all the display of performance, the appearances as a magical illusion. And then Buddha or Bodhisattva who is awakened has no kind of any attachment or envy or anger. But those individuals who are still lacking that awareness, that wisdom awareness, they are terrified, they are confused, they are disappointed, and they are happy, they are angry, they are sad. So everything is taking place. And they think this is as real, they take them as a very solid, sometimes very extreme, that they think that this is so heavy that they want to commit suicide at that extent level. So that's very sad. We do not need to, commit that kind of crime. We can free ourselves from this confused state of mind. And the way how we can free is through these instructions, these beautiful instructions here. Likewise, there's another quote from the King of Meditative of Social Sutra says, magicians create various forms such as horse, elephant, cars, and so forth. They have no fixation for whatever appearances. Likewise, all phenomena should be understood in this way, like this way. So this is actually a very direct pointing out from these instructions. Practicing suchness also says, although one may have awareness or mindfulness about non-conceptual thoughts, accumulations of matter should not be discontinued. This is similar instructions. Thus, when one is habituated in this way, the equipoise and post-meditative states becomes undifferentiated and will be free from arrogance. Thus, it has been said, there is no arrogance that I am in equipoise or I arise from that. Why? Because the nature of phenomena has been fully understood. Okay, inseparable of post-meditation and meditation state, because actually it is the same. Nature of phenomena is the same, whether you're in meditative state or whether in post-meditation state, things will not change. The true nature will not change. So therefore, even though we say there's two stages, but actually, if your meditation is good enough, there's only one truth. Okay, you're not making emptiness. You're not creating this emptiness. It was there from the very beginning as the nature of our mind. So therefore, there should not be two stages. It's only one stage. So it's how it becomes inseparable. Okay, so we'll stop here for today, and we'll continue in our next session. Next session, Gampopa will continue to talk about how important it is to realize this emptiness nature of phenomena or emptiness nature of your own mind, and what are the beneficial effects of that. And if you compare this realization of emptiness nature of your mind with other different types of accumulations of karma or different act of dharma, there's comparisons of merits there, which is more important, which has more beneficial effects, which is more precious. Okay, obviously, this is the most precious because that's the most important thing. Every other five parameters are actually method or support to actualize the sixth parameter, that is the wisdom awareness. So therefore, obviously, this is the most auspicious, most important, most valuable teachings and practice that one should be engaged with. Okay, with this good note, we'll keep here for tonight and we'll continue in our next session. And before we conclude, let us dedicate these good merits for the well-being of all sentient beings. So nam di ye tamche sekpa nye thomne nye be dhanam phamche ne keka na che palap chukpa ye sebe sole drogun yotro sho jangcho semcho rinpor che ma ge pa nam ke kiro che ke pa nyam pa ne pa kone kong do pe war sho